You have to
But
drink.
it'll carry over into 2021.
You have to drink. If you want the case, you have to drink the entire case while you're racing the next race.
Ooh,
Yeah, I'll do that.
I can do that.
I'll do that. Let's go.
If you don't finish the case, you're DSQ'd.
And if you're underage, you just don't say anything.
Yeah, Brogan.
Someone to say my name.
No.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah. Love you, Austin.
Weather? How's the weather? You guys see it? What is it? What's the weather? For the race or quali? Rain for the race? All race or? All race? Okay. All right. Can we start letting me put weather on again? And as we leave the party chat, we're now going to start here. It's Save Your Six Racing League, round 20 here at the Mexican Grand Prix, racing around the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. And to our Spanish-speaking fans out there, hola and buenos noches. We're in for an exciting night of racing here tonight. So let's see what can happen. 20 drivers here, full grid today, with the full qualifying. So we'll see 5 people eliminated at the end of Q1, 5 people eliminated at the end of Q2, and then a 10-person race for pole. Granny has already sealed the Drivers' Championship, and Vapor Cobalt has locked in P2, but currently everything else is still open. And if Red Bull don't lose by more than 2 points, if they can finish within 2 points of the racing points today, they will secure the Constructors title for the year as well. So Granny Boy looking to try to get a big victory and finalize that Constructors Championship after he has already locked up the Drivers title. RV Draco came back last week after a suspension, a 4-race suspension. Came back last race at COTA, Circuit of the Americas, and was able to get points on his return. He got 1 point, finishing 10th place in that race, so looking to build and improve upon that, trying to move up into the top 10 to secure that automatic promotion. Currently that spot is being held by Owen Wilson, along with Josh Plays, both the Alfa Romeo drivers in 9th and 10th right now, holding those final spots with 58 and 48 points respectively. 11th place, Night Catsy had a good start to the season, but has fallen off quite a bit towards the end here. 42 points on the year for him. Hasn't really had that big points finish with Josh last week when we had the broadcast. We saw he got 3rd place. We'll see if he can do it again, or maybe Owen Wilson can pull the rabbit out of his hat. Is Draco going slow at the start? I don't think he's going to be on a flying lap here, so we'll switch to Majestic, who we do know is on a flying lap, currently is still valid as well. In the Renault, he has points on the season. He's raced in 2 races, has 1 point and 1 DNF on the year, so he's going to be looking for a solid performance here. Wasn't able to make COTA, as he comes down into one of my favorite sectors on the calendar, Sector 3 here in Mexico, through the stadium section, seating 45,000 screaming Mexican fans as they see their favorite drivers racing through here, specifically the Mercedes team, both racing with Mexican-born drivers, Night Catsy and Ricky Star. We'll see if they can have a solid performance here today. Ricky Star goes with a 15.5, Majestic with the 116.4. We'll hop on board Owen Wilson on an invalidated lap. So the only person on a flying lap right now is Draco. We saw he was very slow at the start there, so can't imagine this is going to be a very good time. He may be going to the pits. But yeah, maybe just trying to get a time on the board. Keeps it clean there. Coming around the final turn, across the line, it's a 117.8 for RB Draco. We'll hop down take a look. One of the new drivers on the grid, his debut race in Savior 6. Ollie racing in the Williams for Walker, who was unable to make it today. Just a case of the Mondays for Walker. Nothing really seriously wrong, so nothing to worry about with him. We'll hopefully see him back on Thursday. Trying to secure his high finish as he can. Currently dropping quite a bit since the switch to the wheel. Has yet to complete a race since Hungary. His 6 straight DNFs, so taking this race off, trying to clear his head. Just working on the consistency of the wheel, but you can see him getting faster day in and day out with it. And just overall, getting better and better. The only way you can get better is by practicing, so that's what we do here. No pressure, and Sohan is going to go fastest with a 1:14.8 on the board. Solid time, should easily get him through into Q2. And Cobalt with a 1:14.6, so Sohan, some pretty massive improvement on pace throughout the season. He's now just 2/10 off Cobalt. Don't know if Cobalt had an issue there on his lap or just playing it safe, but Sohan with a very good lap. See Knight Katzi come across with a 1:14.8 as well. Pretty good lap from him. Hop on board with Ollie. Watch him on his first flying lap here with the Savior 6 Racing League. Hooks that turn up pretty well. Gives a little bit of a little bit too much throttle there. Losing the rear end just a touch. Overall, very good right now. Broadcast, right? Yeah. Cool. All right. Oh, and yellow flag in Sector 2. Just drivers moving out of the way, it appears. Here comes Ollie to the end of Sector 2. It's a 56.6, I believe I saw there on the timing screen. Should be able to hopefully keep it clean through here. And around the final turn, looking like it should be around a 1:16, I'd say here. Maybe a high 1:15. It's a 1:16.0 there for Ollie. 5 milliseconds behind Brogan Morris in 7th. Prince with a 1:16.6. JSD with a 1:16.8. Chief Chris with the slowest time on the board right now, but currently looks like he's on another flying lap here. The Ferrari going very wide there. He is not invalidated, but the recovery system you can see is turned off right now. Alfa Romeo getting a little bit tight there. I don't know, he might be out of ERS. Oh, it's invalidated there actually now for Chief Chris. We watch Pattison invalidated his lap as well. Currently, everybody obviously out on the soft tires right now. Nobody making the mistake, trying to go out on the mediums. So we're going to see Pattison right now going for another flying lap here. Let's see what the Red Bull driver can do. Neither Red Bulls, neither McLarens have a time on the board yet. Coming down into the hard braking of turn 1, switching back to the left and then back to the right. You want to get as wide as possible so you can get on that power. For the long run here, you open up the DRS and then fly down the second longest straightaway on the circuit. This one, only 400 meters compared to the front straight. A 1,200 meter flat out on the front of this track. But then you come to the very technical section. It's very similar to Abu Dhabi. And you come around the turns into the S's, turns 7 through 11. And if you can nail these, you can make up tons of time for your entire lap right here. Does it pretty well there. If you hook it up right, you don't need to let off the throttle, especially on these quality tires. In the race, you would. But it's showing a purple Sector 2. Still valid there. Drifted a little bit wide. Still a valid lap right now. Looking pretty good so far for Ethan. Hits that turn just about perfect. And Pattison going to come flying around the final turn across the start-finish line here. It's P10, a 1:16.0. So currently a lot of guys around that 1:16, like 0 to 1:15 times. We'll have to see as it gets closer to the end here what the drivers can do. We see Hayden on an invalidated lap, Pocket Dog on an invalidated lap, Granny is on an out lap right now. Mooks does have a quali man, Knowing Light already retiring due to his quali man. So only 3 drivers will be eliminated here. Currently, those drivers in trouble are the drivers, obviously, that haven't set a lap. Chief Chris, gonna definitely want to get out and set another lap. An 1:18.9, definitely not ideal. JST with a 1:16.8 and Prince with the 1:16.6. The next drivers in trouble. The Renaults had a pretty tough season overall. Currently P10 in the constructors, last place. Tied with Haas, though, on points. Haas only ahead due to a 15-point outing in week 1 at Australia. So if they can improve, just get 1 point, they will be able to pass Haas here, move up to 9th place in the constructors. Something they probably really want to do. That's a very, very manageable goal for them. So battle to look out for is the Renault and the Haas team. 64 points tied, trying to stay off the bottom of the leaderboard. But here we go. We watch Granny coming through the first little chicane section. To the end of Sector 1 is a 1:27.9, and that is a fastest Sector 1 there for Granty. Coming into the slower part of the circuit now. Turns 4 through 6. And he just looks so flowing through those S's there. Braking at about the 100-meter mark, turning right in. And you could already hear the fans yelling, screaming, rooting for an unbelievable race here today. Let's see if the drivers can give us what we asked for. But Granny Boy coming around the final corner across the line. It's a 1:14.3 from Granny. Taking the top spot on the leaderboard by 0.3 of a second. We see Revis and Hayden both on outlaps now. So Hayden pit and threw on new tires here after invalidating his first flying lap attempt. Chief Chris and JC still in the pits. Looks like we see JC about to come out of the pits right now for the Williams team. Gonna go try to set a lap himself here. Hayden slowing down, trying to get some space here. Oh, it's not invalidated there for Revis. I thought he might have an invalidated lap, but Revis Island is now out on the track trying to set his first lap of the day with only 6 minutes left in qualifying. He's going to really hope he doesn't invalidate here. Probably a smart decision to carry at least 2 laps of quality pace fuel on board his McLaren here. The 27, Nico Hulkenberg recognition there. Coming through Sector 1, it's a 28.0, so a 10th down from Granny's time there for Revis on those soft tires. Looks pretty smooth so far. See the light flashing as he recovers energy. You need to recover just a little bit here. You cannot run in hot lap the entire time. He's going to have traffic in front of him. Let's see if they get wide enough and out of the way. They do there. Sohan has retired. Revis goes well wide. But he keeps the lap valid by slowing down. 56.1, it's a decent enough Sector 2. It's not going to be where he wants to be, but it might be enough to get him through. Let's see what he does here. Coming around the right-hander, the penultimate turn used to be banked like Zandvoort. Due to safety issues, they flattened it out. And it's going to be 8th place for the McLaren of Revis Island. We'll hop down now to VR Hayden, as he comes through with a 56.1 on his Sector 2 time as well. Should be right around Revis. There it is, a 1:15.3 for Hayden. 1 spot ahead of Revis. They've been close all year. We lost Hayden for a little bit, but they're back and battling once again. A new champion this year, but trying to make the most of their time left as champion and runner-up of the previous season. Revis and Hayden going to try to get that elusive victory. None on the year for either of them yet. We currently see now JC on a flying lap. 1.15 up on his fastest lap at the moment. As he comes through the S's, he's got the Ferrari of Chris on an out lap ahead. Should get out of the way pretty easily up here. Here comes JST around the penultimate corner. Chief just getting out of the way. Hopefully didn't invalidate him here. JST across the line. It moves him up to P15. It's a 1:16.4. So a good enough time for JST, improving by 4/10ths of a second there. Can't get my math right now. But improving to get to that final spot right now. Chief Chris gonna be on a flying lap here. Definitely not a good time right now. A track that he has struggled at in the past. Hoping to change his fortune here today. Maybe get into Q3, but this Ferrari has looked pretty consistent all year long in the hands of Chief Chris here. Now on a wheel, though, as well. It's a little bit of a different ball game. But it's good to see the guys getting that more realistic driving style in. We'll hang on board here with Chief Chris as he comes through Sector 2, through the S's. And he's gonna, oh, he just invalidates. Probably wants to try to let off the throttle there. He's probably trying to go a little bit too hard. You want to go 100% in quali, but you need to make sure you at least get a good time on the board before you start pushing 100%. Try to get that lap in at 90, 95%, just so you have a time on the board. Now, we'll go back to Prince. Currently, the first driver not making it in. Prince in the Renault. Coming down the long straightaway, you have all day to find that brake marker for Sector 1. And he's going to come down through the second DRS zone now, coming into one of the slowest section of the circuit. Through the double right-hander, you're going to set it up here, go as wide as you can right to set up your run into the S's. If he doesn't have enough fuel, this is going to be his final run, and oh, he turns in just too late. He's going to try to recover some energy now, maybe be able to go a little bit faster. Currently, the driver on the bubble, JST, retiring from the session. He's not going to be able to get another lap in. So down to Prince and Pocket Dog to try to improve. Chris apparently did not have enough fuel in his car for another run, or invalidated a second time. So it's going to come down to Prince and Pocket Dog, both of them currently not on flying laps. Pocket Dog pulling out of the way, so it's going to come down to Prince right here, right now, if he has enough fuel. Prince, the driver that's going to try to knock JC out of Q2. This will be the final lap of qualifying here. I don't believe Pocket Dog's going to make it around for another lap. Take a look at this telemetry. Still has fuel in the car right now. So should be all right to the end here. We'll ride on board with Prince, though, in the Renault. Trying to get back on form here and get into Q2. Needing to improve by about 4/10 of a second here on this lap. Let's see what his Sector 1 time is right here. Oh, and he's only up by 0.04 of a second. He needs to be up by 0.4 through the next two sectors if he wants a chance to make it into Q2 here. Tires are going to be a little bit overcooked. This is his second flying lap on these tires after he invalidated the first. Let's see if he can turn in earlier this time. Spot the point better. Looks a lot better than we did last time here. Watch him coming through the S's. Going to let off the gas just a little bit there to make sure he gets the lap and gives himself a chance here. That's all you want. He's currently almost 5.5 up on his fastest lap. If he can just get through this last sector, he will knock JST out. Pocket Dog does not get to the line in time. Just missing out. And Prince going to come around the final corner here. The run to the line. What's it going to be? It should be good enough. It is good enough. It's a 1:16.1 for Prince, making it in by the skin of his teeth and knocking JST out with his final flying lap right then and there. What a lap under pressure from Prince, invalidating the first one, but with no margin for error. He puts together a beautiful lap, improves by about 0.7 of a second as the track starts to rubber in, gets a little bit easier as the time goes on. But yeah, looks like JST, Pocket Dog, and Chief Chris are the drivers that are going to be eliminating Q1. Knowing Light and Mooks both having qualifying bans, unable to qualify here today. So we'll see what they can do from the back. This is Knowing Light's first race back after his suspension. And the one thing we do know, it is going to be a light rain race. There is rain in the forecast for race day. So it may change the qualifying up just a little bit, but we wait for Brogan Morris to retire, and we will be advancing after that happens. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we are now for Q2. Now, normally this would be the tire you will start the race on, but unfortunately, it's going to be another rain race here today in Mexico City. Going to help keep the engines cool. Normally struggle a little bit with the engine temperatures up here at such a high altitude, 5,600 feet up in the air on top of the mountain. This circuit is built. The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. It was originally actually named the Magdalena Magdalena Mijuca circuit. Magdalena Mijuca circuit. Renamed though in 1986 to the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez after the Rodriguez brothers, in 9 years apart, were killed in racing incidents at the track. Part of that Mexican racing heritage that you see now in actual F1 with Sergio Perez. They have a lot of fans. You don't typically think of the Mexican fans as being F1 fans, but if they have somebody from their country, they are passionate about that sport. No matter what sport it is, they will root on their countrymen with the pride and passion greater than any other country typically is, or to the level of any other country. They're some of the most passionate fans we have out there. But back to the race at hand. Both the drivers making it through. We have some games being played here. It looks like Josh is holding up. Just trying to let Ollie go through there so he can get the slipstream off the Williams. You can see the games. Josh going way to the inside to try to prevent the slipstream down the long French straight, trying to make sure the Williams isn't being helped out. You're gonna go nice and wide into this turn. Now let's see if the Williams is affected by, if Ollie is affected by any of the downforce here. He didn't go past Josh, so very smart there of Ollie, knowing that Josh would have to go. Currently though, Ollie slightly faster than Josh is right there. On the medium tires though, it's a bold strategy here. You wonder why. If they knew it was gonna rain for the race, why they'd be out on the mediums here? Why would you not go out on the mediums in Q1 if you were gonna use them? When you have a lot more margin for error, but I guess it's a different sort of strategy. Half the drivers on mediums, half of them on softs. We watch Ollie coming through, the first driver that's going to cross the line, setting the standard time, the time that everybody's going to want to reach here. At least for a couple of seconds anyway. Ollie's going to come across the line. It's a 1:15.6 from Ollie. Josh coming across now though. On the medium tires, going for another flying lap immediately after Ollie is finished. Ollie pulling way off the racing line, making sure not to give slipstream. A little bit of gamesmanship here between the drivers. Granny with a 1:15.6 on the mediums. It's not probably going to be fast enough. A lot of very quick times out there right now. Night Cathy with a 1:14.8 to lead the field away once again. Pretty sure he had a 1:14.8 in Q1 as well. Hop back onto board with Sohan as he comes across the line on these medium tires as well. What's his time going to be? It's a 1:16.2. Not going to be fast enough there for Sohan in the Ferrari. We look now on board with the Haas driver coming to the line here on the medium tires. It's a 1:16.7 for him now. What are these drivers doing? There's no reason to be on the mediums. You're not starting the race on these tires. It's going to be a rain. Unless the forecast has somehow changed, we're having rain for the race. There should be no reason these guys are out on the mediums. And Rivas with a 1:23 on his first lap. On his out lap, I guess that was. He's starting his first flying lap. Prince on an out lap. So the only drivers on hot laps right now, Owen Wilson is invalidated. So it's just Rivas right now on a flying lap. And he goes wide once again. And Rivas still without a time on the board. Brogan going for a second lap on these medium tires. Currently 1 millisecond faster than his previous lap. Just an odd choice here from Brogan. The Ferrari just about getting out of the way, not even knowing that Brogan was on a flying lap there until the last second. Haas driver coming through the stadium, gonna hook it right around the final turn, get on the power as soon as you can. Drift wide and you want to get as far right as possible, and Brogan's going into the pits actually now. A lot better of it. Poor sector 3. Josh went for a second lap, was unable to improve. Looks like Ollie went for a second lap as well and was unable to improve. Or is he on a flying lap right now? See the sector time. Currently 3.5 tenths up on his fastest lap, but he cuts the corner, and that's an invalidation from Ollie in the Williams. Turned in just a hair too early as we see Granny currently out on another flying lap in these mediums. So it looks like a lot of drivers going for multiple laps on the mediums. It may take a couple of laps for these tires to warm up to reach their optimal condition here. About 18 laps is the race distance on these medium tires you can go. Not like it matters much, as it will be intermediate tires here today. For the race, gonna be raining. But yeah, currently the Mercedes drivers, the home course for these Mercedes drivers, both on the top, 5 milliseconds apart as well. They are right next to each other through it all. Cobalt, the fastest medium time right now with a 1:15.2. But we'll hop back to Granny as we watch him finishing his lap here. It's not faster than his previous lap. He's 4 tenths down right now. So I'd imagine we see Granny coming into the pits right here. Not like it matters too much here. Not going to be as... Oh, he's going to finish the lap, actually. He goes just a bit faster, so he must have lost a lot of time in Sector 3 then on that previous lap. Able to jump his teammate by 12 milliseconds. But Hayden is then able to jump ahead. Actually, Rivas, that was. On 3-lap-old Sauce is still able to go faster than Granny. So Granny might be in a little bit of trouble right now. Hop on Ollie. I believe he is the farthest up the track. Actually, Draco the farthest up the track right now. So he comes through the S's, still on a valid lap. We'll look at his Sector 2 time coming up. The 1:57.8. I don't believe that's going to be fast enough on these medium tires. Coming through the stadium, followed closely behind by Ollie and the Renault of Prince and Majestic. We'll watch all of them come across the line here. Where's it going to put Draco? It's a 1:17.5, slowest time on the leaderboard at the moment. Ollie coming into the pits, not on a flying lap. We'll hop on board with Majestic as he comes across the line. Drifts just a bit wide, and he's going to be right behind Prince with a 1:17.1, just ahead of Draco on the mediums as well. Prince is going into the pits right now, and here we see Owen coming into the S's, looking very good right now through them. Cars seem to be sticking very well, and look, it's showing a purple Sector 2 right now. Not sure if it's true, but it's a pretty good Sector 3 time from the times we've seen so far. Should be easily good enough to get him into that top 10 on the soft tire. Gonna come around the final curve. Looks very good right here. Let's see what the time is as he comes across the line. And it is P3, a 1:15.0 from Owen Wilson. A solid performance. And my pre-race pick, pre-qualifying pick, to be the surprise podium of the day. The Owen Wilson, been steadily improving race in, race out, very consistent driver. So we watch Josh Plays coming now, P11 right now. So the first driver to be eliminated, now out. So you see P10 through P15 all on the medium tires, P7 of Granny Boy and P4 of Cobalt. The only drivers on them to qualify their fastest lap on the medium tires, but you see a few other drivers now switching to the soft tire to go for a faster lap right here. And the first of these drivers is Josh, as we see here. As he comes into the S's, you have to absolutely nail it if you want to make the most of it. Gets very far left there. He's going to have his teammate up ahead, trying to give him a little bit of slipstream, maybe. Oh, that was very tight, but it's not invalidated. Still a valid lap here for Josh. Looking like a pretty good time for him as well. The Alfa Romeos struggled early in the season, but now being filled by now their seats being filled by Josh Plays and Owen Wilson. They've been stepping it up recently, and that's the fastest time of the day by 3 milliseconds. Josh Plays goes fastest. A great lap by the Alfa Romeo driver. Currently, a lot of drivers in the pits or on outlaps right now with 4 minutes, 25 seconds remaining in the session. A lot of drivers under pressure to go faster. Sure, we'll see basically every driver coming out right now. You can see some of the margins. 7th and 6th, 1 millisecond apart. 3rd through 1st is separated by just 8 milliseconds. An absolutely incredible qualifying pace here today from some of these drivers. Very balanced throughout the field. So we see the bottom 5 still in the pits, going to wait for optimal conditions before they go for that flying lap. We'll hop on board with Pattison in the Red Bull, followed closely behind by Majestic on his outlap. So hopefully no issues there. Majestic, if he can stay close enough, may try to use Pattison as slipstream down that front stretch if Pattison keeps going. Slipstream definitely can really help out your teammates here, especially down the very long front straight. Oh, and Pattison has invalidated. We'll hop up to Ollie. We've seen him quite a bit here today on his debut as he goes well wide. Doesn't say invalidated, but not going to be a very ideal time. 1.5 seconds slower than his fastest lap. Top back to Hayden, currently just behind Rivas. Pretty balanced on pace right now as Cobalt just blows the barn doors off the fastest lap. A 1:14.1 from Cobalt. We'll have to see if he can put that together in Q3 and maybe earn a pole. Hayden coming through the stadium. Gonna go hook it around this final turn to the line. What kind of time can he get if he stays valid? That's good time. It's a 1:14.866 from Hayden there now. Pretty balanced times all around. Granny coming around, he's gonna go faster. And it's a 1:14.0 from Granny. So if that was the pace from Granny, Cobalt has a chance here to knock Granny off pole position potentially. Owen Wilson trying to use slipstream behind the Red Bull. Trying to take advantage of every opportunity you can right now. Ricky Starr and Knight, though, still in the pits. They're not coming out, it doesn't appear, for another hot lap. They could be in trouble. A lot of these drivers that are below them can go faster. They're for a lot of their laps on the medium tires. Rivas, we know, can go faster. Sohan can go quite a bit faster. We've seen Owen go faster. So they could be in a bit of trouble here. Owen 2/10 up on his fastest lap right now. That would put him ahead of the pairing of Ricky, Knight, and Josh. And even potentially Hayden. It's so close here. Yeah. What's up, Poom? You saying hi to the fans? We watch Owen through the tight chicane, hairpin chicane, whatever you want to call it here at Mexico. And across through the final turn, it's a 1:14.4 from Owen Wilson, going much faster. Here comes Rivas. He's 1/10 up on his fastest lap on the medium tires. Not as fast as he would want to be right here. I wonder if the Mercedes are thinking they might be in trouble here. What drivers are currently farthest up? It looks like Rivas, maybe. Pattison is on an out lap. Draco looks like he's going into the pits. So he will not be. Oh no, that's Hayden going into the pits. Draco just starting his lap. Rivas invalidating his lap though. See quite a bit of cutting of that final chicane to try to get to the line in time to start your lap. Hop down to Sohan. We see purple on sector 2. Don't know if it's true or not. Goes a little bit deep in that final turn. Hooks the right-hander though very well. Goes nice and far to the left. Coming around the final turn, I'd imagine this is faster for Sohan, and we'll put him up into the top. It's P4 for the Ferrari of Sohan Matthew. And a few other drivers down here on these soft tires. Brogan currently 8/10 up on his time. Gonna have to be going a little bit quicker than that though. Some of these times ahead of him are quite a bit quicker. Let's see where Brogan can get to on the leaderboard here. Yellow flag's up ahead. It's 1.5 seconds quicker. P9 for Brogan, so he jumps ahead of Rivas. All importantly, beating Rivas by 0.05 of a second. That's exactly what he needed. Draco is currently on a... Draco is unable to go faster, so not on a flying lap. So it's down to Pattison and Rivas. See if Pattison can knock Rivas out of Q3 right here. He doesn't. He pits, so Rivas is safe. Rivas is safe. He doesn't need to set the time here. Just making it in by the skin of his teeth. Finishes the lap, goes up to P5. Didn't need it in the end, but he finished it anyway. And Brogan is actually sneaking in. P10 from the Haas driver. I was thinking he wouldn't be fast enough with that time, but he absolutely nailed the final sector. And is able to make it through into Q3 there with a 1:15.3, beating Pattison, who was unable to set a lap on his final run by 0.2 of a second. So now we have the top 10 here at Mexico. It's going to be interesting which drivers have a quali setup versus which drivers are setting themselves up for the race. It looks like Granny may be setting his car up a little bit more from the race, usually quite a bit farther ahead of Cobalt. Cobalt may have a more of a dry qualifying setup trying to steal pole position from the Red Bull racing driver. And here we are today, Q3, setting the fastest lap you can. Every driver getting a new set of soft tires here. And it's round 20, so only 3 races to go, 3 sessions to prove you can go fastest. Only 3 different drivers with a pole position on the year. Hopefully no wing damage there as he pulled out. A little bit of a rookie move there. Probably getting used to the car at the moment. but making it through, making it out clean, as we see every driver coming out of the pits, the last two being the Mercedes drivers. Haven't talked about them at all today, other than it being their home Grand Prix. But if you want to, comment now in the live chat. Who do you think is going to be the top three here today? I'd have to say my guess, obviously, Granny Boy P1, Cobalt in P2, and Owen Wilson, I'm going to say, P3. Sohan, I think we'll give him a run for his money, but I think his type of track. Seems like he's doing very well around here. As we look at Vapor Cobalt in the Racing Point, leading the charge for the Racing Point team to try to keep Red Bull from locking up the Constructors' Championship here at Mexico, trying to take it at least to Brazil. They need to finish at least 3 points ahead of Red Bull to be able to continue the fight on to Brazil. But it's a fight that's pretty well already dead. The third place team of Ferrari currently very far behind them, about 185 points behind the Racing Point team. McLaren, though, only 6 points behind Ferrari for third place in the Constructors. So a lot to fight there between Ferrari and McLaren. Going to be the two teams to watch battling it out here today. We only see one McLaren and one Ferrari in Q3 here. So going to be a battle from the back from the other Ferraris, to see Ferrari and McLaren, to see who can get the most points here. But currently riding on board with Vapor Cobalt, Rogan actually out on a medium tire. What is he doing? He sneaks into Q2 and then decides to go out on mediums again. Very odd strategy there from the Haas driver, but what else do you expect from a team run by Gutensteiner? It's a 55.3 from Cobalt, a very good time so far. It actually looks like Granny Boy is catching Hayden. He might be running in the back of him and slowing up a bit. This could be ideal for Cobalt. Team Red Bull, the junior team, and the high team on top of one another. Granny just able to avoid making contact there, as it's Sohan in P3, Josh going to P5. Looks like Owen Wilson's going to be P6, not a very good time from him. We'll hop on board with Rogan as he crosses the line, and he goes 1:17.1. Knight up to P3, and Ricky Starr is going to come across the line through the final turn. Where is he going to be? P7 for Ricky Starr, the leader of this Mercedes team. He's been leading the team in points. P8 in the driver's standings right now. Knight dropping all the way down to P11. Mercedes was P3 in the Constructors through the first half of the year. Currently now down in P6, though. Very, very hard performance for them throughout the season. Getting 16 points in Singapore. They're able to get back on the wagon then in the USA with 12. But other than that, just a total of 12 points through the 7 other combined races since the halfway point. But currently, every driver other than Rivas setting a lap in some very quick times. Granny into the 113s with a 113.9. Cobalt with the 114.2 may have some pace around this track. Some very, very good times here on the board right now. Have to see as the track continues to get better and better what their times can be and who has that wet setup that may be costing time to Granny. Only been about two or 3 tenths ahead of Vapor Cobalt this entire time, and Brogan gets a time penalty, a grid place penalty for collision with Sohan. We didn't quite see what happened there, folks. We saw it pop up on the bottom as Brogan was pulling into the pits, but it looks like Sohan is well into the pits. So let's see what happened there. Owen Wilson sets another time on those soft tires after his first and is able to go up to P8 with a 1:15.2. Normally a very good time, but only P8 here right now. So he's going to be racing back to the pits, hopefully throwing on a new set of soft tires, being able to go for one more hot lap attempt. Every driver probably going to have at least one more attempt. Rivas may be able to get 2. as he is trying to start his first flying lap here as he invalidated the first. Halfway through Q3, 6 minutes remaining as we watch Rivas, the only driver currently out on a flying lap on track in the McLaren. He's had his struggles in qualifying, missing Q3 quite a few times from what you would expect from the previous champion over the last few races. Almost able to secure a P3 in Austin, but Sohan Matthew, with no time penalties, was able to take the spot back, finishing within 2 seconds of Rivas at the line. Rivas able to get past Sohan on the new softs on the penultimate lap of the race, but unable to do anything with it. Sohan stayed in his DRS, saved up his ERS, and was able to hang on to him just about. So hopefully Rivas trying to get back onto the podium here today. His last podium coming back in Russia with a P2. So he's going to want to get back up on the podium, get those solid points. He's had double-digit points every race since France, where he was 6 points. But Rivas has invalidated his lap once again. So Rivas will not be setting a time here. Oh, he's going for another hot lap here. This is very strange from the McLaren driver. Definitely not in a rhythm that he would want to be in. We see Josh, Hayden, and Ricky Starr all out on their flying lap, on their out laps actually, to set up their tires for the flying laps ahead. Rivas, once again for the third time, going through Sector 1, trying to set a time. Sector 1 time. It's a time. Not an amazing time, but it's a time. Hopefully these tires have some life left in them. Only 4 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in Q3 here today. The timer is going to be showing up on the driver's screens. The engineer is going to be talking in their ear, trying to find the ideal time to go out and set your lap time. All the drivers only going to really have one more flying lap attempt here. Ricky Starr is going to be the first one to start their second flying lap attempt. We'll hop on board with him once the McLaren of Rivas Island finishes his hot lap right here. Coming around the final turn, it's a 1:14.5, just edging out Sohan Matthew by 19 milliseconds. But as we said, we'll hop on board with Ricky Starr, currently 1/10 up on his fastest lap. Ooh, and we actually have drivers very close in the background. Oh, Josh Place has invalidated, so we can go back to Ricky Starr. Josh is going to be dropping off. That was much closer than those drivers probably wanted to be. We've seen that a couple times here today. Just not managing the space. Not as bad as we've seen in Italy in F1, but definitely not ideal here. Savior 6 Racing League, the final qualifying runs here in Mexico to set their grid slot for the Mexican GP. You see Ricky Starr might be going for a second hot lap attempt here. Currently the first one at 1:14.7 puts him up into P6, but no higher. Hopping on board with Hayden, he is on an invalidated lap. He's going to go into the pits and maybe try to throw on a new set of tires. It looks like Josh Plays may just be trying to recover energy. He may go for another flying lap right away. Nope, he is going to the pits as well, so it's going to be very tight for these drivers to get around. 36 lap race here today. A 4.3 kilometer circuit, 2.7 miles. Going to be a very fun race. Soft tires going about 10 laps. Not like it matters much. We're going to be on the inters here today. Inters should go about 17. If you have very good tire management, probably a one-stop. But if you're a little bit harder on your tires, slipping out in that rain might turn into a two-stop for you, depending on safety cars as well. So a lot can go into this. No VSCs or safety cars on Thursday at COTA. So we'll see if the rain causes any more sort of incidents today. So we see a purple Sector 2 from Cobalt as he's going for his flying lap. Can he get to pole position? He went just a little bit deep there in Sector 3. That's not ideal. Is he going to be able to improve on his time enough to get Granny Boy? Owen Wilson has gone to P2 on his time. He goes faster, but not fast enough, does Cobalt. Owen Wilson with an unbelievable time, a 1:14.08. Didn't even see him going for it. We have a few other drivers on outlaps right now. Ricky Start in the pits. We'll see if he can get out again in time. Revis Island is still in the pits as well. The McLaren coming out with 1 minute and 5 seconds, so it's going to be very tight if he makes it or not. Riding on board with Brogan Morris, though, at the moment. He's 1.3 seconds up on his fastest lap. Currently 2 seconds, though, behind 9th place Vapor Hayden. So, again, going to have to make up a lot of time in this final sector. And 9th and 10th are currently on their outlaps. Ricky Start doesn't appear he's going to get another lap in. So that's very unfortunate for the Mercedes driver. It's going to be a 1:15.3 for Brogan. Only 3/10 behind 9th place Hayden, but Hayden and Josh Plays both on outlaps right now to set another hot lap attempt here. We'll hop on board with Sohan Matthew. Currently the farthest up in the field on a hot lap. Right behind him, Night Catsy coming into Sector 2 as well now. Hayden and Josh about to start their flying laps here. Cobalt going into the pits and Revis behind them as well to set a hot lap. Sohan is about dead even on his time. 0.03 of a second slower than his current time, but he may be able to make, he might have had a bad sector 3, may be able to make up some time here. This engine sounds absolutely terrible right now. Running in very high gears, not really shifting, but it's gonna be faster. It's a P4, 1:14.2 for Sohan. Hopping back to Knight. He's currently 2/10 down on his time, and he's gonna go into the pits. Unable to go faster, the Mercedes driver. Unfortunate for him. We'll hop on board. I believe Granny Boy is going to be the next to come across the line. He's going to try to improve upon his time here. 1:13.9. We'll see if anybody behind him can beat that. Let's see if Granny can beat it himself as well. Looks like he will. It's a 1:13.5. Flying there from the Red Bull. Red Bull does give you wings. He may have been flying over the corners for all we know. That is an unbelievable time. Pulling it out of the hat at the death. May not need it. Oh, and Hayden has invalidated. Josh has invalidated. So Ricky Star is going to be safe by the skin of his teeth in P7. Probably wanted to be higher. And Revis invalidates as well. A lot of invalidations. What do you think, Poom? Yeah, I know. It pisses me off too. Nobody else gets pole. So that will end Q3. Granny Boy on pole, and the surprise of the day, P2. Owen Wilson with a 1:14.08, stealing a front row spot. Vapor Cobalt, P3, probably not expecting to be there, starting behind Granny Boy. But we saw in Drive to Survive, Botas said P3's better than P2. Gives you that slipstream all the way down behind the fastest driver. So we'll see if Cobalt maybe takes advantage of that. Sohan in P2 going to be right behind Owen Wilson. And we see the drivers disappear. We'll come back to tell you the rest of the starting 10. Night Catsy in the Mercedes is going to be P5. Revis Island in P6 in the McLaren. Ricky Star going to be right behind Knight in P7. The two drivers at their home Grand Prix. Josh Plays in 8th with Alfa Romeo. VER Hayden in the AlphaTauri leading the field for them after Catfish unable to make the race today. And Brogan in P10 with a 5-place grid penalty. But as we said, we are expecting rain for the race. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens on race day. This is Savior 6 Racing League here in round 20 at Mexico. Welcome in, everybody. Hola. ¿Cómo estás? We are here at the Mexican Grand Prix at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for a 36-lap, 50% Grand Prix race around the Mexican circuit. Round 20 of the Savior 6 Racing League. Granny Boy starting on pole position here today. Sharing the front row with Owen Wilson in the Alfa Romeo. Vapor Cobalt, unfortunately, P3. Next to the leading Ferrari of Sohan Matthew. Majestic has been DSQ'd from the session. Some collisions there on the start. Majestic, Draco, and Prince coming together, it appears. Night Catsy's going to be starting P5. Rebus Island in P6. Ricky Star, P7. Josh Plays and Hayden, P8 and 9, respectively. The other Red Bull of Pattison, P10. And as you can see below, it's either a 2-stop or a 3-stop. But if you're very good on tire management, you may be able to make it a 1-stop. Ollie on his debut with Savior 6 Racing, replacing Walker in the Williams, starting in P11. Majestic and Prince sandwiching Draco in P12, 13, and 14. Renault, AlphaTauri, Renault. Brogan Morris, after his grid place penalty, moving in from P10 to P15. JST is going to be P16 in the Williams. Pocket Dog, P17 in the Haas. Chief Chris in the Ferrari in P18. And Knowing Light, P19. Mooks, P20 after their qualifying bans. Knowing Light's first race back after his qualifying ban as well. But you see the drivers sitting on the front of the grid waiting for the drivers behind to reform. Still waiting. Their tires slowly get cooler and cooler, especially with the rain. Going to be getting much cooler than they want. Going to have to watch for any sort of trouble. It's a very long run here down to the first turn. But we see we got 5 lights and go! Looks like a pretty clean getaway by everybody. Majestic not with the best of starts there towards the back. We see the Ferrari getting a very good start of Sohan. Oh, and there's collision in the back. We see a McLaren spinning around. We see a Haas out of the race. The yellow flag, that's got to be a safety car. It is a safety car. The Haas is out. Mooks with major damage. I don't believe oh, he has a front wing, just barely any. Looks like Majestic may not have a front wing. Chris without a front wing. A massive collision there between everybody. You see a lot of leaves blowing around too. This rain causing a lot of debris to be blown across the track. The track very slippery, very poor start there from Majestic after the cold tires. Unfortunately, affected the start there. You see the biggest gainer, Knowing Light, going up to P14, avoiding all the collisions, getting an absolutely amazing start there for the Racing Point team. But unfortunate, Pocket Dog, Mooks, Majestic, Chief Chris, all gonna need to pit here. It may work out in the end though. Everybody has to do a 2-stop and they do their first stop under the safety car here. You never know how it works out. You just have to keep racing. Vapor Cobalt able to get past Owen Wilson on that start, so I guess Valtteri is right. P2 better than P3 better than P2, especially on these tracks with long runs. Like you see the strategy coming up pit lane. See if any of the drivers are going to be diving in here. We know that the bottom drivers will be. See if any of these drivers take a risk and maybe hop into the pits here. Mooks appears to have gotten away without much wing damage because he is going out around the pits. Going into the pits. 19 drivers still left racing. Ollie down 2 spots. Brogan gaining 4 spots, so almost making up that grid place penalty from the start. As we see Majestic getting a new wing, the Ferrari leaving the pits. No penalties, though, so it'll be interesting to see if there's any stewards discussion there. We didn't quite catch the incident on camera. We saw a car sideways, but didn't see the spin from our perspective. but most people still pointing the right direction. The rear wing not trying to overtake them. Going to be a very difficult track, especially with no traction control on for some of these guys trying out the new system. Walker's going to probably be very happy he's not here today. We've had quite a bit of rain this season. Track you wouldn't even expect to have rain, but yeah, I guess that's how it is. You never know what can happen, and it's definitely a challenge to the drivers. It brings out the best drivers for sure. A little bit easier to manage the ERS as the engine is not running at full pace. Normally this track is one of the lower full throttle track at 45%, but in this rain, I'd imagine we're closer to maybe 30%, and that's probably only down to 3 straightaways that we have. I would imagine you're not really full throttle for any other part of this track. We're starting lap 3. We're still under the safety car. We see Granny Boy in P1, Cobalt in P2, already moving up, exactly what he needed to do if he wants to stay in contention here with Granny Boy. Because we don't know what Owen Wilson's pace is. We have seen some out of him. One fastest lap on the year. Didn't get points for it, though, as he finished P11. But he does have a fastest lap. Sohan in P4, Nightcatzy in P5. Josh plays P6, Revis Island in P7, jumping the Mercedes of Ricky Star. Hayden's going to be P9, Patterson's in P10, and then where we had a lot of movement, Brogan in P11, Draco P12, Ollie in P13, moving down 2 spots to start, taking it nice and easy on his first race here with Savior 6 Racing. Knowing Light, the biggest mover so far in P14 in the pink Racing Point. Prince still going the right way, up to P15 now, so a good start from him, but down 1 position overall, but avoiding the collision. Very good work from Prince. Jay Steve in P16. Mooks avoided that collision, able to move up a couple of spots, but compared to Knowing Light, probably not where he wants to be. But that incident appeared may have happened right in front of him. Chief Chris is still going, and Majestic going. No wing on them. They're catching the field here, so I'd imagine we have a safety car coming in. Still haven't seen anything from race control yet. We may have another lap under safety car. I wonder if this is due to the weather potentially here. Nope, there it is. Safety car in this lap. Very late call from the steward's room. It's a 5-second penalty. Hayden with a severe collision back there. Hitting the back of Ethan, or Ethan hitting the back of Hayden. We'll watch Granny Boy. Not a lot of time to create a gap, but he goes nice and early. As soon as the safety car's out of the way, we see yellow flags in the background. Hopefully everybody getting through here. Ethan is going into the pits. It doesn't appear like he has any wing right now. But most of the other drivers are getting through, pointed in the right direction. We'll switch on to Ethan. He does have a wing. It was just front right end plate missing there, as he serves his 5-second penalty. Throwing on the new wing. Yep, front left end plate actually missing there. As we watch the drivers still going here. Granny Boy's leading away, Cobalt right behind. Opening up a 3-second gap to Sohan already. Holy cow. Josh might be trying to go for a move up the inside of Night. Not a lot of room there. Going to be a very risky move, especially in the rain here. Decides better of it, backs out just a bit. We're going to try to set up a move later on. No DRS here in the rain due to safety issues. They will not have the... Oh, and we have a spin in the back. Jay Stee has spun it. Still is the only driver there, so hopefully just him spinning himself out as we watch Hayden closing in on the back of Ricky Star now. Currently the gaps up front starting to open up just a bit. 1-second gap to the top drivers. We watch them coming through the stadium section here. Hayden all over the back of Ricky Star at the moment. Does have that 5-second time penalty. Granny Boy setting the fastest lap of the day right now. 1:28.5 here in the rain. The AlphaTauri's, though, trying to attack both the drivers ahead, Draco and Hayden. Hayden has lost a little bit on Ricky Star, but Draco's going to try to go to the right here, going to try to go down the inside of Brogan. Both of them using a lot of ERS here. Can Brogan defend it? He is, but probably used quite a bit of battery there. We'll see if Draco can avoid now being overtaken by Ollie, as he may be counterattacked here. We watch Ricky Star as well, all over the back of Rivas here. He's using, no, not using the overtake. Here they come side by side. And Rivas is able to hold it around the outside. What a defense there by Rivas Island to hold the position from Ricky Star. Ricky Star almost overtake himself out of the final turn. He's able to then go counterattack. It's a little bit of yo-yoing right now throughout the field, having to overtake and defend through each turn, a different option. Looks like Prince is the back of this pack right now, going to be trying to hang on here to Knowing Light. Maybe potentially getting an overtake done or two. Just keeping clean, though. The main focus here of this race. We watch Prince now. Oh, he's actually closed up quite a bit to the back of Knowing Light. Is Knowing Light being held up by Ollie? Will he go for a move on Ollie? Granny Boy going faster with a 127.6 now. Here come the drivers through the stadium section. 10th, 13th, 14th. A very good battle back here between the three drivers. Knight closing up to the back of the Ferrari, but not quite close enough. Hayden on to back of Ricky Star as well. Ricky Star just attacking Rivas. He may now have to try to defend the same way Rivas did potentially here into this corner. You can see on the dials Hayden with about 50% of his ERS left, Ricky Star with about 25%, so a little bit better management there from Hayden. Normally very hard to recover the energy around this track, and it appears Chris has lost it on the wheel in the rain, just making it ever more difficult here. I'm surprised we got a clean start without anybody spinning out off the grid. We did have one crash further down, but overall, a very good race, as Knowing Light has now gotten past Ollie. We missed the overtake, but he has now gotten that move done. And Brogan, going wide, has been overtaken by Draco. Very low speed here. Knowing Light may be able to make a run on him here, potentially. But Brogan just far enough ahead, he's going to be able to hold that position for right now. You see Granny Boy currently in the lead of the race, 2.5 seconds ahead of Cobalt, who is 4 seconds ahead of Owen Wilson. See Brogan losing it just a bit, trying to push hard to get that spot back on Draco. Unfortunately, no DRS assistance. So it's all driving ability, trying to get a good exit out of the turn, using the slipstream and trying to get a slingshot past them. Ollie, though, driving way down inside. Must have had a little bit of a poor exit there from the Williams drivers. We watch Hayden coming up to Ricky Star. He's going to try to go down the inside. Ooh, very tight between the both of them. He's going to hug it around the outside. It's going to become the inside, and he's going to get the move done. What a move by Hayden. He was showing that move for a couple of laps now. Finally gets the move done on Ricky Star, out-braking in the wet. What a move by the AlphaTauri. He's going to try to now get off behind Rivas and start attacking him. Ollie still holding this position for now, but you can see Prince all over the back of the Williams driver right now, trying to find a spot to make an overtake happen. We've seen Prince in qualifying. He was struggling through these S's. The rain is definitely not going to help him out with that. See Ollie losing the back end just a little bit. We'll see if Prince can get a better exit. Majestic with the first 3-second time penalty of the day. Oh, is he going to go for the dive down the inside? He is! And that was 2 cars into one corner. I don't know if there was room there under the wet conditions. We'll have to see in the steward's room if there's any sort of complaint filed. It was a bold decision from Prince there. He's pretty far back, but looked like he ended up getting it done with side by side. We'll have to see it from the driver's perspective. Any sort of complaints there. Currently, though, the closest driver on track, Knight Catsy, trying to catch up to the back of Soham Matthew, with Rivas Island and Josh Plays right behind him. Soham, or Hayden, is about 3.5 seconds behind them, with Ricky Star within a second of him. And then Robert Dureco about 3.4 seconds back. No one like Harding to catch Brogan Morris, but unable to get the move done so far. We'll have to see if he can get something done here shortly. He's starting to lose touch with the leaders ahead. That qualified band definitely hurting no one like so far. Majestic, though, back on track and already up behind Mooks in 14th. Mooks definitely struggling a bit, and there's Ollie's first 3-second time penalty of the race. Definitely a track we normally see a lot of corner cutting warnings and corner cutting penalties due to the S section in particular. Very hard to get right, and if you don't get it right, you lose quite a bit of pace to the other drivers. When we look up the field, Rivas Island closing in on the back of Josh Plays. Turns off the overtake the same time Josh does, though. Knight Katzy trying to close in on Sohan. We see a couple of battles here. When it looks like Majestic may be trying to make a move here on Mooks. Down the long front straightaway, he's going to have the inside. We'll see if they give each other room here. Very clean racing there from Majestic. It would have been very tight in there for the two of them. You don't need to battle each other yet. Race with each other. Try to catch back up to the field. Make up those positions and get a couple points for your team. See the lockup there from Majestic, definitely not going to be good on the tires in these conditions. But we currently, the main battle back in here, or P4 all the way to P7. Those gaps yo-yoing back and forth between the drivers. Majestic with a 3-second time penalty right now. And Josh Plays now with the 3-second time penalty. Coming out of the stadium section, it looks like Knight, though, has gotten a very good exit compared to Sohan. And Knight's going to have a run down the front straightaway here. Sohan, though, with all the overtake in the world. Knight Katzy with absolutely none. No errs left. Here they come into the right-hander. It's very tight. They get through side by side. Sohan's going to hold the position for now. Knight's going to try to go for a switchback, but without any battery power, he's going to be being attacked by Josh now. Get in behind, get some slipstream. Has just a minute amount of battery left. He's going to try to hang it around the outside here. It's going to become the outside now. He unable to get it done. Switches back, able to defend from Josh. The Mercedes and the Ferrari battling back and forth. We want to see it in real life. At least we can see it here. We watch Knight and Josh and Rivas all trying to catch Sohan here. We see Knight slipping a little. Sohan looking very stable through this S section. Pulling out a decent gap through there. See the drivers coming in. Hayden has now started to catch up to the back of Rivas with all these drivers battling up ahead. Currently, Majestic is still stuck behind Mooks right now. Hasn't made the move yet. And we see drivers going into the pits early here. Josh and Sohan both into the pits here. Brogan now has a 3-second time penalty. So 2 of the drivers from that 5-person battle now have pit. 3 others have maintained their track position for the time being. So it may be a 2-stop here. Tire wear may be higher than we anticipate. We see J-St going past Prince, who is pit. Mooks in the pits. See J-St can get past Josh. He is unable to get past. But Sohan comes out right behind Majestic. He's going to have to try to get a move done quickly here. On these new intermediate tires, should be able to have the advantage here and should be able to attack. He's not using any ERS, though. It's going to be very painful if he's stuck behind Majestic for too long here. He's not able to get past him there into the tight chicane, owing up into the hairpin. He does get the inside line. Majestic does get another 3-second time penalty, going wide to avoid contact with Sohan. And he's able to keep the position around the outside. It's going to be tight, though. They're going to try to go side by side into the yeses. Majestic very smart about it. Backs out. Josh Plays coming up behind him now. Going to hold him up just a bit. Helps Sohan get ahead here. See Majestic down the inside. Braking quite a bit earlier. A little bit of a lockup, but stays out of Josh plays there. As we see Granny, Cobalt, Wilson, and Ricky Star all going into the pits. Knight, Rebus, and Hayden all staying out for the time being. Rebus has started to catch up to the back of Knight here. Sohan getting out ahead of some of these drivers in the pits right now. Maintaining that gap to Josh. Still 5 seconds behind Owen Wilson, so Owen Wilson able to pit and get out ahead. But he is now stuck behind the racing point, so he's not going to be able to catch Cobalt here as he's stuck behind the racing point. We'll see. Maybe Connor pits this lap, but the Alfa Romeo not ideal for him to try to catch Cobalt. So the racing points probably work together just a bit here. You watch Rebus, Knight, and Hayden. Oh, what is going on? Appears some sort of glitch here. Drivers appear to be stuck in the pit lane. May need to all right, folks, we're gonna pause the broadcast here for a second to try to figure out what's going on.
Over. Everyone's getting fucked over.
Yeah, what's happening?
Hey, we may need to like end the session and restart it with like a 25% race or something.
No.
Why?
We may need to restart with the 20. Well, we may restart with the 25% race based on like the positions right before pit stops.
Come on, I was smart.
That's kind of bullshit, though. That's so bullshit. That's so bullshit.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah,
because
but you
I
can't.
undercut. Because I
If
undercut and
it's like the pits, then yeah, it's glitch. You can't do nothing about it. It's gonna have to be a restart.
Yeah. Yeah, can
They're
we
out,
either
they're
just
out,
completely
they're out.
restart?
I mean, they're 2 laps down though. Like, it's not fair.
I don't care.
No.
No, it's fucked.
What
As
happened?
much
Did they
as,
get out?
as much as it's great for me, but that's a fucking
great
wreck.
for me as well.
Dude, I was leaving on such a good strategy too.
Yeah,
Hey,
fuck,
such a
bro.
good strategy.
What do we?
Yeah.
I mean,
Can we just do a one-shot quali 50%?
No, why
No,
would
we
you do
wouldn't
one
do
shot
quali.
Oh,
quali?
sorry. We just restart the quali. We restart from quali.
no, we did quali.
No.
No, that's what I'm
You
saying.
Just
we can
restart
from the
25%
start. Yeah.
right before the pit stops or something. That's the best thing we can do.
No, 50%.
I'm down
Well,
for
Some
already
people
halfway
can't though.
through
I
it.
know. I know
Boys,
some people
we're already
can't.
halfway through it. We're like an extra 4 laps, and we're already halfway through it. Might as well do a 25.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, 'cause
everybody will
it's
still have
kinda
to pit.
bullshit.
Everybody will still have to pit on 25%. But some people can't make it if we restart the whole time.
I mean, ask.
Then we postpone it to tomorrow or something.
Why would we?
I don't know. I don't know if you
Well,
guys
like-
just keep racing and we figure it out after.
Because
Well, everybody's racing, so nobody's going to answer.
wait, AT. Do you remember Monza?
No, just
Do you
keep racing
remember
for now.
Monza? Do you
It's just
remember
about
Monza
to go
last
dry.
year?
It's just about to go dry.
Yeah. Yeah, we restart. We just gotta restart from the start.
Restart.
Like 50% though.
No, why would we do
No,
a fucking
we just.
50%
What was?
again?
Is it gonna? Was it supposed to go dry or no?
Yes, it is.
No.
It's about to go dry.
No,
It doesn't
no.
say
No.
it is. It doesn't
My
say it
engineer
is. It's meant to
Okay.
be
The
full width
engineer
for the whole
literally
race.
just said, It's not time for
Can't
softs
say
yet,
it's
but
dry.
that's
Can't say it's going
No,
dry.
it's
All right,
gonna
I'm
get
gonna
dry,
hop on
though,
Chris's
like-
stream and see what he
No,
wants us
it's
to
not.
do.
I don't know how they're gonna do the grid if.
I can pull it up. I'll just set it up for whatever it was before pit stops. I mean, that's the best I can do.
Yeah, yeah.
I think, but Austin, remember what happened last year in Monza? Hamilton won the race, did he not?
Oh, shut up about real life. This ain't fucking real life. God damn.
I'm not talking about real life, you dumbass.
do you mean
I'm talking
Hamilton
about
won the
last
race?
You
season.
just said Lewis Hamilton. That is fucking real life, mate.
No!
The AI
He's on
last
AI,
year.
because all the AI
No,
took over on the
season.
podium, didn't they? But there is no AI.
Yeah,
there is no
they
AI.
did.
There is
And
no
it's
AI
still
though.
kept. And it sucks, but it's something that we have to deal with
Wait,
in
guys,
using this
quick
game.
question. What about the people that were out of the race?
They stay out. They don't get it. They don't get it. If they were out of the race before the pit stops, they stay out.
But that's the thing, like, people that have built a gap already have kind of got fucked over.
Well, I mean, that's the only thing we can do.
There's still 18 people.
Or we just
racing.
continue this race.
Or we just continue the race.
What an absolute.
I've just
shit
retired.
show
I've
this
just retired. Connor, retire, man.
Yeah, if everybody
Everyone
starts retiring,
retire.
if everybody
Everyone
starts
retire, 'cause then
retiring, we'll
everyone
figure
will.
it out.
Everyone retire because then everyone will.
What
This
was
is
the
fucking
pit lane like?
bullshit, mate. You can't fucking put it down to a glitch and start a whole 50%. It's not
Yeah,
our fault.
we're not starting
Like,
a 50%.
you can't just do a whole 50%, boys. It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Mate, it's 1 o'clock in the fucking morning. I'm tired. Can't be asked to do a whole 50%
Yeah,
again.
I mean, we're
I'd
already
rather
at
postpone it. If
25%.
if you want to do another 50%,
Okay,
just carry
can
on
we
on
just
Thursday.
postpone it?
I can't be
Can we
fucked
just
with
fucking
this, man.
postpone
How
it?
about 25%?
Till Thursday.
Well, that's why
No,
we'll
because
just
nobody wants to do a 25%. Nobody wants to do 25%.
No,
We'll do 50.
we do a
Which is
50%
fine.
on
We'll postpone it. We'll postpone it till Thursday.
Yeah,
Fuck it. Postpone it till Thursday.
yeah.
We're already halfway through. We're on lap 16. Retired. Fuck that. I'm not doing it again.
It's fucked. It's fucked.
I got my safety car too.
Well, that's because people are retiring on track.
I know, but I had a one-stop strategy going. So that sucks.
Make a difference.
No, that's why we gotta restart completely. Like, fuck it. Like, we just do it Thursday.
Press is still racing.
I'm
Oh,
good
the
for this
actual.
race. Why the hell not?
Actual.
Even if it doesn't count, I'm still gonna
What is
race
it,
because I
postpone
don't
till
know until we
Thursday?
have a decision. Because I still
We'll
wanna,
postpone
like,
it till
get practice, you know?
whatever day works for most people. We'll take a
Revis,
vote.
I'm not being
To say,
silly.
you got two
Literally,
admins in there
there are
telling you
5
to
cars
postpone
on-
it till Thursday. If you're not going to fucking listen, then fucking leave. Like, if you can't listen to an admin, mate, then what's the point in us being here? We'll postpone it till Thursday. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. We'll
Hey,
take a vote
Revis.
to see what day, though, if it's Thursday or Sunday. Because more
Thursday or
people may be able to
Sunday,
make it
that's
Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, yeah, we have other races. So
I
we
mean,
just
because
go
it'll be a
into
fun finale
whatever.
then. It'll
Because-
be a
yeah,
race,
yeah.
quali race. We'll have some fun with it or something.
Yeah, or we
We'll
could
do,
like
like-
leave it to like the end
Or
of
we
the
could,
season
or we could,
something.
or we could just do like reverse grid or something. We'll take the results from this race, do reverse grid for the Abu
Yeah.
Dhabi race.
Yeah.
Just do something fun, like
Yeah.
fun with it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
How
we'll
about like a
have a
quali
chat.
race, quali race?
We're not doing quali again. The quali's done for this. It
No,
didn't
yeah,
get effed up in
quali's
Oh, yeah,
quali.
good point. I meant like quali race. Wait. Quali race.
All right,
Well,
sorry
so
everybody.
don't
The race has been postponed. We had a bit of a glitch that effed over more than like almost half the grid. So we're gonna
look at the
postpone
pace.
it, and we'll hopefully have it re-raced on Thursday or Sunday. So stay tuned for updates.
Hell broken.
Grant, don't forget to shit.